Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This week is just gonna be me. Ché's not really feeling well this week. She's a bit sick and has a cough and a strep throat, I think. So I'm just gonna shoot this by myself today. I feel like we haven't had a discussion video or like a conversation video in a while, so thought it'd be a good idea to talk about some things that are just on my mind and stuff, I guess. I mean, initially when I agreed to start this channel and started YouTube, I always wanted to make sure I was always honest and kind of spoke my mind about things that I'm thinking about or whatever, and like not portray necessarily this fake persona online or whatever. So I guess just wanted to talk to you guys about some random thoughts and I guess things that I've been thinking about, going through about in fashion specifically, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to really talk about and dive into, I guess, this love-hate relationship that I kind of have with the fashion industry and working in fashion. Yeah, I didn't really want to like script anything or, you know, write anything, jot anything down or anything, so I'm kind of just gonna rant and go off the top of my head. Obviously, I have ideas that I've already been thinking about and like thoughts that are like reoccurring thoughts that I always have. So yeah, I kind of wanted to share it with you guys, see what you guys think as well. Like, some of you may be also working in the fashion industry, some of you may not, or just are interested in fashion or love fashion as a hobby or a fashion enthusiast. So I feel like people who know me well kind of know that I have this like love-hate relationship going on with fashion at all times. Like, don't get me wrong, I love clothing, love fashion, love the creative field and everything about it, but I definitely go through phases where I get very tired of it, in the sense of not necessarily the art and creative aspect of it, but more just like the politics and how like social media really runs today's world, especially in the creative field, I find. And yeah, I find like I personally feel like I need to take breaks from it at times almost. It's just like one of those things where I feel like I'm sure a lot of you guys know I constantly get people messaging me asking me to post more like fit pics or, you know, share more stuff on social media, but it is a very hard thing for me to do because it doesn't come natural for me, I find. Whereas I'm not the most social person naturally. I don't necessarily enjoy small talk all the time, you know, like especially going to social events and stuff like that. Even with social media, like fit pics, I don't necessarily like to share too much of my private life or too much of my life all the time, where it's kind of a conflict in interest obviously with YouTube and, you know, growing like I guess growing in a social media aspect and like working with brands and stuff, you kind of have to put yourself out there. And it's honestly kind of a mental battle at times where it is hard for me because personally I'm not a huge fan of the whole like social media, clout chasing, you know, like how today is always trying to meet new people to get places and celebrity culture, you know, like I feel like it's just very not me, and I feel like in today's world, social media and that aspect of things plays such a huge role in terms of like positions you get and I guess like work that you're able to receive and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just wanted to, I guess, kind of talk about it with you guys and see what you guys think, because I've had conversations with people close to me, of course, but I'm interested to hear like what other people think, you know. Like I know people around me are always pushing me to like post more, share more, like, you know, if you post consistently on Instagram you could grow, but it's like I don't really care for well, you know what I mean, like I don't necessarily care to grow my social platform other than to get better work and to, I guess, generate more revenue, to be frank. Like, obviously we all want to make more money and do more interesting projects. That is the end goal at the end of the day. I feel like a lot of times I get very annoyed and tired of dealing with people almost. especially in the industry, a lot of people can be very fake, very like, how it is kind of in the fashion industry. I mean, there's a huge stereotype, I feel like, on this industry, and like some of it is true. You meet a lot of people who are just social butterflies who like to, befriend everyone, and that's not very me. I like to keep my circle small. I like to focus on the work, focus on creating interesting things. And I'm sure, I do believe that, like, in the long run, as long as I focus on working on the things that I'm interested in, and I guess working on interesting projects and creative things, like, eventually I'm sure, I mean, obviously it comes with luck as well, but I'm sure I'm moving in the right direction that I want to go in terms of my career and work. But I do feel like at times, I'm sure everyone does in whatever field, but I do feel like a little stagnant, where I kind of feel like I'm stuck in this place where I don't know where I want to go, what I want to do, you know, um, as I'm sure a lot of people my age and our generation probably deal with the same things, feel like you're not doing anything interesting or things that you really want to work on, or you're plateauing and feel stuck almost. Yeah, because there's no right way or right path in the creative field, like to be frank, how I even ended up at Essence was like, there's no real right way. I didn't finish school. I was literally in between school, and I just applied, and things kind of just led me down this path where next thing I knew, I was working full time. I was going to finish school online instead of staying at campus and doing my work. But next thing you know, I've been here for 3 years, and my life is like completely different than I guess what I thought I'd be in. I didn't know that I was gonna land a job in personal styling right away. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do after a year and then graduating, So there's no like real right path, I guess, within the fashion industry almost. So at times, without like having a mentor, having, I guess, more experienced people that I personally feel like I know that do things that I want to do, that could kind of guide me or explain things or give me advice on like how I want to progress my career and stuff. I feel like it can be frustrating or hard to navigate through the industry almost, where I'm not sure what I want to do, or I don't know how to get to where I want to be. I'm just kind of progressing slowly, one step at a time, thinking maybe this is the right direction that I'm heading in, but who knows, I guess it's part of life where you're not really sure if you're doing things right or what. But like, you see people, and you're not supposed to compare yourself with others, but at the end of the day, everyone does, and you see people who have more of a social platform, I guess you could say, and personally, I feel like their work isn't as strong, or like, I'm not saying I'm a great stylist or whatever. I have so much to learn, and I feel like I'm not nearly where I want to be and stuff, but that get better opportunities. And of course, I'm not saying like working on your social platform isn't hard work, because clearly it is, but it can be frustrating or disheartening, or whatever the word you want to use, to personally, where you feel like styling skill wise or whatever, there's people who deserve it more, or not even necessarily me getting the job, but just in general. So I feel like that's where a lot of the times where I feel like the people who are just like more social are able to network, I guess, do a better job with that. And that's with every industry, every job, I'm sure. Networking is probably, when you grow up, you realize that, yeah, having a degree is beneficial, but at the end of the day, a lot of it is about, I guess, people that people that you network with, stuff like that. Maybe I'm just young, maybe I'm naive, and I'm just not doing the things I'm supposed to, such as like networking and like forcing myself to put myself out there more, work more on my social media or whatever. I just feel like I'm surrounded by people who care, or like a lot of people in the industry that care so much about it that kind of almost annoys me, like, I hate when people talk about like, oh, like how many followers this person gets, or like da 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 da, like as if that really determines if someone does great work or not. It's not about how many followers or whatever you have. It's about like the people you're working with. Are they actually creating quality work, stuff like that? But I find a lot of people don't really care about that, or care more about, oh, how much revenue you could generate because this person has followers or whatever, which is fair. At the end of the day, fashion is a business. I'm kind of just rambling along, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you guys, see what you guys think. You know, like, I've been kind of taking a break off because I guess, I mean, I still work in fashion, but like just taking a small step away from it, gather my thoughts, figure out what I want to do and stuff. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be very, very passionate about clothing and fashion knowledge, history and stuff. So I'm not saying like I'm going to quit fashion or anything, of course, but sometimes I feel like I just need a break from it and step away from it and not be too into it, you know. Sometimes it could be frustrating or exhausting almost. Yeah, even like conversations like this, I feel like a lot of people, especially on like platforms like YouTube, people aren't gonna really talk about that stuff. People are always portraying this like positive side of fashion, or, you know, oh my gosh, it's so cool to be like like, oh, it's so cool to be me. Like, I'm doing all these pickups, buying all these clothes, like all these cool endorsements or ads, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, fashion is just like every other industry, and a lot of people outside of it probably think it's a very glamorous industry. There's a lot of cool things going on. To a certain extent, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still just a job and work, you know? Yeah, and I find that growing up with like a sports background, I definitely feel like what I enjoy more about sports in general is, obviously there's politics to sports, but it's definitely a way more honest, like almost like a more honest assessment of your of opportunities that you get, because at the end of the day, like, you need to produce and generate outcome where for whatever sport you do, you know, whether it's basketball, that you need to average, you need to be productive on the court, you need to score a certain amount of points, you need to grab a certain amount of rebounds, and, you know, the people who do better get better contracts, stuff like that, have more opportunities. And that's why I love Muay Thai so much. And I feel like in recent years, it really played a huge role in my life because it's a great balance compared to fashion, because it's almost like polar opposites. You know, you go to the gym. I say this a lot to my friends, but it's like, yeah, when I go to the gym, people don't care if you're a doctor, if you're homeless, you know, we train together, we work hard together. You punch each other in the face and, you know, you laugh it off after. And I feel like it's so different from fashion, where like people care about like, who is this guy, how many followers do they have, what kind of people do they know, you know, like. And I feel like it's a great way for me to kind of get away from all of that. It's a very honest sport, you know, like, it's hard work, it's a lot of endurance, mental endurance, you know. It teaches you discipline, and if you compete, it's like, at the end of the day, you're the person standing in the ring, and, you know, the results are the results. You know, if you don't work hard, you get your ass kicked in the ring. And I really appreciate that aspect about it, you know. And I feel like that's one of the huge reasons why I put so much focus in my life right now in the sport, because obviously, one, it's a great way for me to get back in shape and be healthy, and, you know, have a good healthy balance in my life. But also, it's such a great tool, I guess, for my mental health, where it really balances and like takes me away from the people in the fashion industry. To like all the people who watch our videos, one, I just wanted to be honest with all of y'all, you know, let you guys know what's been going on with our lives, why we had this like month layoff, I guess, from YouTube. Kind of just wanted to get some honest conversation between us. I feel like, you know, like a lot of y'all probably watch our videos because it feels like we're talking to each other and we have common interests, you know. We love fashion, we love clothing, we love the creative field, arts. I mentioned earlier that, like, well, personally, like, honesty for me is a huge thing, and I really believe in being real and being authentic to myself, you know. I don't ever want to feel like I'm selling out, or obviously I don't want to feel like I'm selling out and, you know, not being myself just to get anywhere or something. But I'm very interested in how people feel about, like, where do you draw the line of authenticity, and what it's a hard line where you feel like, oh, am I selling out? Am I doing the right thing? Am I being myself? Because at the end of the day, being a part of society and a company or, anywhere, you can't obviously 100% be yourself. There's certain ways to act, like social norms to a certain extent, you know what I mean? And it's hard to navigate where, like, for instance, being on social media isn't really necessarily me, but is it just me not wanting to work hard and not treating it as a job where I feel like I should just be doing it just because I know it's the right thing to do, or like it'll help me grow necessarily? Or should I be 100% authentic to myself, where if I don't feel like posting, I don't want to post, and I only want to post things I want to post, for instance, or share with people, like stuff like that. I feel like I've had a lot of thoughts to it about just like always wanting to be authentic. And obviously, even like within YouTube, let's say, like a lot of people start off being very authentic, and the more they grow, the more people that watch them, you obviously, the more endorsements, sponsors, whatever that you get, you end up having to be more PC, or, you can't necessarily, I mean, hopefully I will, and will stay true to this, but where do you kind of draw the line of, I guess, like, what are your base morals, or where do you consider, like, it doesn't matter what opportunities I get from this is how I have to be because this is who I am, and like I don't want to lose myself and be true, and I just want to stay true to who I am, in whatever I do. I don't know, I feel like it's not something necessarily talked about a lot, but I've had conversations with like other creatives in the industry, and we kind of talk about it where it's like, a lot of the big work, for instance, or aren't necessarily the most interesting works for creatives that truly care about what we're trying to do and what we're trying to create, because at the end of the day, the mass audience and mass majority of people won't care about the very niche things that you do. So sometimes you kind of, I feel like you have to draw the line for yourself, right? Like, how much are you willing to stretch? You take advantage of opportunities that are given to you, but at the same time not wanting to like do it just for the sake of like money, fame, hunger, whatever, like money, opportunities, having a platform and stuff like that. And where do you draw the line where it's like you could still be yourself 100%, and people actually love you for you? Because honestly, what is the point of getting to a certain level or like having people acknowledge your work when that's not even really you, if that makes sense? So they're not really actually appreciating you, but they're appreciating the persona that you're giving. And I feel like that's not really something I'm interested in. I kind of want to see what you guys, or your opinions are about, how you guys feel about the fashion industry, how you navigate through it, what your thoughts are about like how social media plays an impact in your life or your job, or even like how working in this industry or working in whatever field or industry that you're in, how it affects your mental health and how you kind of try and balance your life through it, I feel like that's really, mental health is obviously like such a huge topic these days, and like with like so much attention to it now, I feel like it's a great way to kind of open up about it and talk about it, see how other people deal with navigating through this world and industry. And especially like sometimes you may feel like you don't know what you want to do, which I feel like at 25 probably a lot of people at my age feel the same way. They know what they want to do, but they don't know how to get there, and they feel like they're plateauing or being stuck in certain scenarios. And yeah, I just wanted to have an honest conversation with you guys. Really wanted to, like dive in, discuss about it, see what you guys think, and we'll definitely get back. We're back on schedule now. Like we came back from traveling and all that stuff. So I think next week we'll definitely get back to our regular schedule, pump out new videos. Let us know as well what else you guys would like to see. If you guys enjoy these like discussion videos or whatnot, let me know as well. Thank you for watching. I know this is kind of different from our usual videos, but I really felt like I really wanted to do this video and really talk to you guys about it. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Che will be back next week, and I'll see you guys next week.